Welcome to the snapshot of Life Without Envy, Ego Management for Creative People by Camille DeAngelis. Here we'll explore the key insights from Life Without Envy. Introduction. Have you ever seen a friend's self-congratulatory post on social media and felt a twinge of envy because you wished you were the one celebrating success? It can be easy to feel the need to prove yourself by keeping up with other people's accomplishments, or to feel down when you haven't been recognized for your hard work or talent. In this snapshot, author Camille DeAngelis shares a practical guide for navigating common feelings of jealousy, frustration, and inadequacy. The concept of letting go isn't just for yogis and Buddhists. Rather, it's the key to beating your ego and achieving the satisfaction and fulfillment you're seeking in your career and in life. Your ego makes you miserable. One day, the mindfulness expert Eckhart Tolle rode the tube in London. He found himself sitting next to a woman who was apparently mentally ill. During the ride, Tolle heard her mutter questions to herself. How could you treat me this way? How could you betray my trust? When Tolle got off the train, he thought to himself, I hope I don't end up like that woman on the tube. And then, after receiving a confused glance from someone near him, realized he had been thinking out loud. He was basically doing the same thing the woman on the train had been doing. The truth is that every time you think, you're talking to yourself. When you sulk over something that didn't go your way, beat yourself up over a perceived failure, or think unproductively about a disagreement you had with someone, you're behaving just like the woman on the train. You do this because many of your thoughts are controlled by your ego, your sense of self-importance that drives you to fixate obsessively on your life and your problems. Ego is a product of evolution. Millions of years ago, it was the apes, and eventually the cavemen, with the greatest sense of self-importance, who fought the hardest for their survival and, as a result, lived longest and procreated the most. But a million years later, your ego fixates on issues that aren't as critical to your survival. For instance, your ego makes you compare your experiences, accomplishments, and reputation to those of other people. When you get stuck in a traffic jam on your way to an interview, it's not fair. When your friend gets a promotion and you don't, you're a failure. Your ego thinks that you are in danger if you're not number one, and as a result, it always finds things that are wrong with you or your life, which makes you miserable. The good news is that you don't have to listen to your ego all the time. By understanding that many problems you think you're experiencing are basically delusions that your ego has created, you can become detached from the constant stream of negative thoughts and move past them. But to do this, you need to embrace some hard truths about the world. You don't know what you actually want. Did you know that the public school system was designed to make you an obedient citizen, not a self-aware individual? Horace Mann, an American congressman who was credited with founding the modern public school system in the 19th century, did so with the objective of creating a more orderly society, not empowering the lower-income citizens. In Sir Ken Robison's acclaimed 2006 TED Talk, he argued that most schools kill creativity because they teach you to adhere to the status quo and define success based on things like salary, title, or higher education, rather than whether you do what you're passionate about. Since you were young, outside of the classroom, you've been flooded with advertisements, commercials, and traditions that teach you to want things, such as toys, pets, or Halloween costumes. Later in life, you're taught to want things like a house, a car, or a spot on the Forbes 30 Under 30 list. In other words, you've been brainwashed, and the things that you think will make you happy might actually make you miserable. Corporations make a lot of money by teaching you these delusional associations between things you don't need and happiness, because you end up buying things you don't need to impress others or prove to yourself that you are somebody. Your ego thrives on these delusions as well. Every time you indulge in the fantasy that you need to have certain possessions or status symbols to be happy, you strengthen your ego's narrative that you're engaged in a fight for survival. This gives your ego power over you and turns simple things like not getting selected for an award or having a publisher reject your work into existential threats that make your heart pound and keep you up at night. You aren't special. Not too long ago, a well-known novelist live tweeted an emotional meltdown when her book didn't make the New York Times Best of the Year list. She wrote that she was upset because there were many books on the notable list that year with reviews that were nowhere near as good as the reviews her work had received. This public display of bitterness and self-pity might seem a bit extreme, but honestly, how often have you felt sorry for yourself because you didn't get the recognition and success you thought you deserved for your talent and hard work? When many kids are young, their parents teach them that they're special and unique. If you were taught this, you were probably too smart to believe that everyone can be special. And as a result, you probably subconsciously started to believe that you needed to be more special than other kids. As you grew up, you saw more examples of how only some people can win approval, wealth, and fame, which likely translated into a subconscious belief that some people matter and others don't. The truth is, however, that the life of a poor woman living in a slum on the other side of the world is worth just as much as yours. The only factors separating you from less successful people are things like your nationality, ethnicity, parents, socioeconomic background, appearance, and natural abilities. You didn't choose any of those things, so you have no right to be so proud of them that you think you deserve a special outcome in life solely based on them. If you really think about it, people are just glorified blobs coming out of a cosmic Play-Doh container. You're made of the same material as everyone else, just molded into a different shape and placed into different circumstances. Regardless of what you do in this life or how much fame and wealth you accumulate, one day you will die and eventually be forgotten, just like everyone else. Since embracing this mentality, DeAngelis has felt a sense of oneness with other people. As a result, she feels happy for people when good things happen to them, rather than threatened or diminished by their success or luck. She also feels that, while she may have worthwhile contributions to make to the world, she shouldn't overestimate the value of her contributions or feel that she is owed success simply because she tried her best. Abandoning your quest for greatness. Eckhart Tolle once wrote that the notion of greatness is a mental abstraction and one of your ego's favorite fantasies. As you have learned, you're actually indistinguishable from other people, and ultimately one day you will be forgotten just like everyone else. This might sound depressing to you, but when you think about it, it can be pretty liberating to know that the idea of greatness is a delusion. When you're freed from the notion that you need to be the best, you're given total artistic freedom to do whatever you want and define success in a way that resonates with you. More importantly, you can stop fretting about how other people analyze or receive your work. Of course, abandoning the futile quest for greatness doesn't mean you can't get recognition for your work, but it does keep you from being held prisoner to your status and your need to maintain it. For instance, a lot of artists and musicians suffer from anxiety and depression when they realize that they're past their prime and their best accomplishments are behind them. But in his 2008 TED Talk, Benjamin Zander, a 70-something conductor of the Boston Philharmonic Orchestra, shared why he doesn't feel that way. For Zander, success is not about wealth, fame, or power. Instead, it's about the joy he can create for others. By offering the best that is in him, he finds great satisfaction in his work and doesn't worry about the fact that his career is coming to an end. Instead, he celebrates that he can share the talent that he's accumulated over the years with others, and as long as he has tried his best, he will feel good about what he's doing. Conclusion. In this snapshot, you've learned that a series of evolutionary and social factors have instilled in most people a tendency to envy others and beat themselves up for not achieving what they want in life. However, you've also learned that by embracing certain truths, you can set yourself free from negative thought patterns that make you miserable and stunt your potential. Fully accepting these realities may feel unpleasant and scary at first. You've been conditioned your whole life to believe that greatness and specialness are as vital to your survival as water and air. But by letting go of the need to be successful and impress others, you can stop focusing on things that you can control, like how people respond to your work or whether everything will line up to allow your efforts to bear fruit. Once you do that, you're free to focus on tapping into the collective knowledge and creativity of the universe and enjoying the twists and turns in your journey in work and life. About Camille DeAngelis. Camille DeAngelis is the award-winning author of the novels Immaculate Heart, Bones and All, Merry Modern, and Petty Magic. She is also the author of the first edition guidebook, Moon Ireland. A graduate of NYU and the National University of Ireland, Galway, DeAngelis currently lives in Boston. Thank you for listening to the snapshot of Life Without Envy by Camille DeAngelis. If you liked what you heard, then make sure to explore the rest of our snapshot library to continue gaining key insights from nonfiction books in a matter of minutes.
Thank you for listening to our quick learning audiobook review series. If you liked what you heard, then check out our channel for more free audiobook reviews. We post new audiobooks every week. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell to be first to hear of our latest reviews.